Hello, my name is Jordan. If you don't know me, I'm the founder of Carbon Box Media. And in this particular video, I wanted to show you the audit that helped us close a client spending $30,000 a month on her brand. And this is just Meta, by the way. And she was getting a not so good return, right? And I wanted to showcase this video because if you're a business that's getting a not so good return, you can see how we audit our accounts, right? And if you're a business that does auditing, well, then maybe this video can provide you at least a little bit of value, right? Not to mention, and this is kind of a side note, but I'm going to bring it back, so stick with me. But we're in the process of hiring a new media buyer right now, a few new media buyers. And over my career, I've interviewed hundreds and hundreds of media buyers. And what I've found is there are just some pretty piss poor media buyers out there, right? And that's no disrespect towards them. Every single person is on a different stage in their journey. But some of these media buyers land accounts that are spending $50,000 a month. And these media buyers should not be spending $50,000 a month. And that's exactly what happened with this brand, but instead of 50,000, it was 30,000. And the reason I wanted to bring that up is because one, if you're a media buyer, let's talk. We're always looking to hire top talent. But two, these poor businesses, right? And it goes to show you that there are a ton of businesses out there, and big businesses at that just need help. And they're spending money for the sake of spending money. And if you're in a surplus and you have money to quote unquote throw away, okay, I get it, I guess. But if you're throwing money towards anything, shouldn't you make it as optimized as possible? Maybe I'm crazy. But in this video, I'm going to be breaking down how we conduct our audits and what I personally believe made this audit in particular help us close this client. So let's get straight into it. Okay. Hey, hope you're doing well. This is Jordan. Again, good to see you. We have Costas here. He was supposed to be on our call last time. He's our CMO here at Carbon Box Media. We've taken a look at your account. There's some pretty exciting stuff that we want to talk to you about, number one. And number two, just to kind of show you that we don't just talk the talk, we also walk the walk. We wanted to show you some of our current results that we're getting for our current clients. One of those is the case study that I talked to you about kind of last time. I know you like the brand Rigwa. They were essentially spending around $8K a month to generate under break-even returns, and then we lowered that 8K spend to 1.5K, and we got an even higher return than the 8K was generating, right? So that's pretty much the spiel. This is going to be probably a 8-minute video. We want to be as in-depth as possible. Kostas is not going to be on the call next week just because, as you know, it's Black Friday, and I need my best guys kind of, behind the scenes working the what they got to do. So it'll just be me, but that's the whole point of this video is so you can kind of get to meet Kostas. He's a great guy. But yeah, I'll stop blabbling. I'll kind of go straight into the results just so you can see what we do in real time. And if you were to work with us, Kostas, myself, we'd be your guys. If we're going to dive into Google, we can talk about that later. I know you were looking for kind of a one-stop shop marketing team. That's exactly what we do. But for right now, I think the biggest, revenue generator is Meta. So let's talk about the big fish first. And then on our call on Monday, we can kind of create a plan of attack for these other platforms as well. So that's pretty much it. Kostas, if you want to share your screen, we can get straight into it. Okay, cool. So I always love to do introductions for these audits before we get into the audit itself, because there's nothing more boring than watching a video that goes straight into the account with just a monotone voice, straight to metrics, no context. It's not a great way to start. And so to me, the introduction is just as important as the audit itself. It's a great way for me to not only lay out expectations, but also let her know exactly what we're going to be covering in this audit and why. Also, very, very important, I always have the specialist, and it's Kostas in this case, since we're doing a meta audit, be on the audit video itself. Why? Because it gives her an introduction into who she's going to be working with and how Kostas works and thinks, right? This is very, very important to see who you're going to be working with. Not only that, but Costas was not going to be able to make the second call because during this time it was Black Friday and we were so swamped getting these campaigns set up. Like I said earlier in the audit, I needed my best guys behind the scenes working hard. Which, by the way, if you want to see some of our Black Friday results, my previous video was a YouTube video covering how we broke some records for some of these brands. But I'll link that in the description. Check that out if you want. But later on, you're going to see me chime into the audit from time to time, but you'll notice that I'm going to let Costas do majority of the speaking here so the potential client can get to know him, right? Because the client has never met Costas, right? So this is a great opportunity for Costas to display his personality, display his expertise. Okay, let's get back into it.
Absolutely, yeah. So let me share my screen real quick. Perfect. So here is the your ad account, right? So we can see the last 4 months, so from July 1st all the way to yesterday, right? And so I know you know your product is in the outdoors, so probably best time of the year is springtime, summertime. So I really wanted to include the most relevant data, but also time of the year that is essentially good for your business. So here we can see a couple of the results. One of the things that I saw immediately was that like your campaigns, um, like they're just sitting around for a long time, and you can tell by that because like if I open just one of your campaigns here, you can see, for example, and this is your retargeting campaign. This campaign is just generating negative results for months now. Like like has spent 5.7K, has 1.26x ROAS. There is no reason for that campaign even to exist,
Right.
right? So, for example, the best way to do is just do a simple optimization. Just cut here, add a little bit of spend here, and just have like a 3 to 4x ROAS because this is what this campaign is delivering. Like this ad set here, kind of fix your efficiency because your target shouldn't be at 1.93. It should be like way higher. And we can tell this by your launches, like your Independence Day here. You have the autumn sale here, that they're delivering good results. If we go towards your prospecting now, like we can see a couple of things here. Uh, there are not a lot of audiences being tested, and so there's only lookalikes out of your purchases. Now we love lookalikes, we work with lookalikes, but
Right.
because you have like a super high AOV item, like you're not getting a ton of volume of purchases, and so the lookalikes out of purchases, they work better when you have a huge volume of purchases every month. And so right now, because again we're selling high AOV item, we don't have a huge volume of sales, and so I don't see the reason why we shouldn't create campaigns, like a lot of different campaigns with different audiences, and just like test it because there are a ton of interests that you can target with Facebook, broad interests that you can essentially get good cost. The next thing is a little bit of the delivery side of things. You can see, they're using manual placements.
Manual.
We don't like using manual placements. They are hurting the delivery a lot. Maybe they were working before iOS 14. After iOS 14, you should go with manual placements and just, move forward. Another thing that we haven't, the account hasn't been tested yet is the broad audience. And so broad audience is, for every account that on the lifetime has spent more than 100,000, and I believe your account has spent more than 100,000, we start
Yep.
testing broad. And by broad, we mean no targeting. And so we don't target anybody. And I can show you one account later on that we literally, like, we're getting a 20x ROAS by not targeting everybody. And we just let Facebook do the work and we focus on your creative alone. Um, so yeah, like my points here are like there's not a lot of audience being tested on your account. Like we can see like this month, like we can only see 3 campaigns, like 2 campaigns being active if we exclude the Halloween sale that just started. Like we only have two campaigns being active, and no one is touching those campaigns. You know, and like, yeah, so the not a lot of testing being done here, like not about a lot of audience testing. And the other thing is the lack of creative testing. You have only those videos, that specific angle alone, and there's nothing new. Like literally, there's nothing new in the account. No carousels, no DPAs, um, no images, no offer images. Like something that is going to be different.
Your account's
And
fatiguing, basically.
yeah, yeah, of course. And you don't have a lot of creative diversity. And creative diversity, we mean that you need video, of course, but you also need images. You also need carousels. You need pretty much everything because, like you need to give Facebook the best chance to find a customer in the auction. And so we don't have any images, we don't have any carousels here. We only have one video here that is working. Essentially, this is why the account is still performing and hasn't tanked yet entirely. But at some point, this video is going to get fatigued and it's not going to work. The other thing is, I've been seeing a couple of mistakes here in terms of optimization. Like this creative, for example, was running for a little bit. We can see here it has better CTR, which is engagement, has better cost per click than anything else, has better cost per add to cart. It has great cost per checkout, and it has good cost per purchase and also a 3x ROAS. And so I don't know why this creative was paused. So probably someone didn't cut that, or maybe someone don't use the columns that I use here, and they missed the conversion. So yeah, like only lookalikes. So to recap, not a lot of creative diversity. So we're only using four specific videos. One of those videos are just performing right now. We're not using automatic placements. We're using manual placements, and we are limiting ourselves. We're limiting ourselves in the auction. We're not using a lot of audiences. This is very important. We can literally start a new campaign with the same creatives, but just targeting different audiences, and we can find better efficiency. Um, we're not using A plus, which I believe you are having the option here. So no A plus has been ever tested in the account. And so this is a new campaign from Meta, and they're using AI to essentially target your audience. And we have seen with high AOV items, this works. It doesn't work very well with low AOV items, but with high AOV it works. And so that would be also the first thing if we decide to work together. This is very important to be tested.
Right. You see what Kosta just said? I love when he says that.
If we decide to work together, this is very important to be tested.
Our goal as the agency is to provide as much value on this audit as possible. Yeah, of course, we want to land this client. We know how much value we can provide from them, but the goal of this audit is to provide so much value and so much insight into currently what's going wrong within their account that if they wanted to, they can literally outsource this to some cheap freelancer by sending them our audit and saying, just do what they're saying in this video, right? Now, that's not a very good business plan because around month 2, month 3, once we need to start dynamically shifting our campaigns to continue to acquire net new customers at a profitable rate, they're not going to know what to do. And I think that's what makes us unique and why our clients have such a long LTV. But you get my point.
Like this is very important to be tested.
Right. Okay, so right here, Kostas is pretty much finished up with what he was going over. And so I decided to chime in and just start laying out some expectations. And we're always honest at this part. And what I mean by honest is brutally honest at this part, right? We've come into some accounts during our audits and we've said, okay, there is nothing we can do here. Godspeed. We wish you the best. And we've also come into an account audits where we see Y is wrong, X is wrong, Z is wrong. There's so many different things that are wrong, and we can literally come in and instantly improve your results, right? This was one of those accounts. And so I let her know that we could come in and instantly get better results. And I said that because we both looked at the account, we've looked at hundreds of counts, and we've done this hundreds of times. And so it was not only backed by confidence, but it was backed by data, right? And what does Hermosi say? The only way to reach true confidence is to do something so many times that you have undeniable proof that you can do it. Confidence without proof is delusion, right? And so anyway, I laid out some framework. I said, hey, we could come in, we could tweak a few knobs. You're instantly going to get better results, right? I can promise you that. However, what does 6 months down the road look like? Because our marketing strategy for the first 30 days, especially when we're restructuring the account, is not going to look like what our marketing strategy is 6 months down the road. So that's very, very important to lay down those frameworks. So
Yeah,
basically, Amanda, there is, excuse my French, a ton of potential here. And I knew this was going to happen when we looked at the account for you to only be getting around a 2x, but for us to actually see under the hood, there is a ton of stuff we can do to get a higher return almost instantly. So I guess the good news is we could literally just come into the account, fix a few things, and immediately get better returns, right? But overarching long-term strategy, and this is what I want to talk to you about on Monday, is just making sure that we have a consistent creative pipeline. Just making sure we're actually able to split test these creatives in the fastest and most efficient way possible. What that looks like on your end, I know you were working with some influencers. You were doing kind of what you needed to do, but just kind of understanding, are we going to be part of the creative process? Are you going to be the only person part of the creative process? Is it going to be some sort of dynamic partnership where we work with each other? We're open to all models. With one of our brands that we're going to be showing you, we just kind of say, hey, these specific creatives are winning. Can you go film or shoot more creatives that look like this? We have other brands where we're generating everything, right? And so whatever works best for you. But that's just kind of if we are going to start, spending 30K, 40K, 50K a month and eventually get to, those 6-figure a month and spend, numbers, we need to have a creative pipeline 100%. But just to go back, good news is we could literally come in, turn a few knobs, and immediately get better return on ad spend. So that's pretty much that. Kostas, let's show results. Let's basically walk her through what it is we do. Okay, so right here in the audit is a perfect opportunity for us to start showcasing what it is we do. We don't just talk the talk, we walk the walk, and here are the results to prove it. Why this is a good time to do this and why this is an absolute necessity is because we just all over her account, right? This is her main revenue driver to her business. Her business is her baby. And if you just tell her everything that's wrong with her account and then not back it up as to why, you can turn a potential client into an enemy like that, right? Here is the opportunity where we can start to back up all the things we were saying. And we can do this in a smart way, right? Where she can see the benefit, she can see the value. We do this by showcasing to her brands that are relevant to her brand and the products that she's selling. Relevance can include a variety of things. These could be brands with a similar niche. These could be brands with a similar AOV. These could also be brands or accounts that were run with the same setup as her current setup and what we did to fix it, right? So the before and after. And at the time of this audit, we're reviewing her before and we're selling her the after, right? So we're going to go over the 3 accounts covering the 3 above relevances.
absolutely. Yeah. So let's go. Let's just take a look over. Like I'm just gonna showcase the most recent results. Last 3 months. Um, this client, we're just upping up the tier for this client. They're going to spend 15,000 every month, and so 5.5K total spend, 20x ROAS. Like if we put the conversion value, which I forgot, if we put the purchase conversion value here, we can see like we spent 5.5K to generate $114,000. So at 20x ROAS. And so if you kind of look like how the account looks like, right? In 3 months, like we have launched a lot of creative, and inside every campaign, you will see a lot of audiences and a lot of creative tests. And this is the account that I told you that we are actually doing open targeting. We are only excluding past customers, and we are not putting any detailed targeting. So we train the account essentially to work, just let the algorithm loose, let it do its thing, and just bring me results. And yeah, really high return on ad spend. And now we're in the process of essentially upping up the spend to increase revenue. And then you can see like what the previous customer was getting, like 0.3, 0.93. They only did like boost posts and a couple of campaigns that don't really poor optimization, manual placements, all that. But yeah, it gets a lot of testing in order to find out what works. It's just, yeah, you just need to do the boring work, and the boring work is creative testing. That's the key here to actually maintain efficiency while you use scaling up spend. And yeah, like if we go another account here, we can see most recent results. August 1st to yesterday, essentially. We can see we've spent 60,000, generated 3.47. This is a different client. It's on the home improvement industry. But we decided to scale pretty aggressively. The last, they're spending 5K per month, and we went from 5K to essentially 20K every month in essentially a month. We just developed a lot of creative assets. We went into the testing campaign. Boom, again, same structure, testing a lot of creatives, and there's a reason why some creatives are performing with $42 cost per purchase and some others are performing at $164. It's just about you putting the effort and the creative testing in order to find the lowest cost creatives that are going to scale your business, essentially. Then we can go to Jordan's favorite brand. This is Rigwa.
This is what I linked you on our call, Amanda.
Yeah, so before we worked together, they had such a bad efficiency, and this is the first thing we when we decided to work with the brand. This is the first thing we try to do is we try to really fix efficiencies. Like, okay, like what we can improve to immediately boost and lower the cost per result. So you can see 8.5K here. That we're getting below 1 return on ad spend, and we thought this brand is great. Has a lot of potential. And so we went in July here. We did our thing, 1.88 just by working for 2 weeks with this brand, and then we went to August, 3x ROAS immediately, just because, and you can see like how many things we launched to actually find the winners.
Okay, I'm going to interrupt right here. Get passionate. I looked at her account and I saw some incredible similarities between one of our current brands and her brand. So I got passionate. Brands don't want agencies. They want partners. Being passionate about their brand is going to, number one, showcase to the potential client that you're actually passionate about growing her brand. And number two, guess what happens? When you're passionate, and I mean genuinely passionate about growing a business, that translates into your work and you end up going above and beyond to deliver the best results possible. And you're going to see my energy shift a little bit, and it's going to start to transfer into Costas. You'll notice that a little bit later in the video. And I want to point out that if you go to the amount spent column, that's 2.4K. It was originally 8.5K. It's okay to mess up, guys. Getting a 0.9598 under break even, like not even break even. And so for us to lower the spend and then come in and get a 308% increase on return in a month is pretty much exactly what we're going to do for you. And I'm incredibly confident. I mean, Rigwa's a sick brand. You have an awesome brand. There's so much potential here. We really want to work with you, 100%. But continue, Costa. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm so sorry for keeping.
Got a little emotional there.
This is something that I also realized right now that like this brand, they were selling bowls and they were getting like $100 cost per result. which is insane. Like they were paying $100 to acquire a customer, and then lowered the spend, increased efficiency. They paid 32 after a month working with us, right? So just $32 before it was $100 to acquire a customer. And so there are a ton of there are things that you can find to increase efficiency with your current ad spend, and then after you find those efficiencies, you learn from them, and then you up the spend with new creatives, new angles, new offers as well.
Okay, so right here, this is basically the closing. This is basically me and Kostas giving our final thoughts. What you want to do is you want to go over your final thoughts and relay out the various pain points. This is basically going to be the conclusion of the entire audit and gives you one last chance to get passionate. And I can't express enough, passion goes a long, long way, guys. And also another chance for you to just reopen those pain points just one last time. I mean, you don't have to work with us, but if you continue to not work with us, the wounds are just going to get worse, right? And the conclusion is a great way for them to leave the video thinking that, hey, why am I not working with these guys? Why haven't I thought of this? Why have I not done this before? Why have I not tried this? Why these guys have done this? I need to talk with my current agency. I need to talk with my current media buyer. Why have they not done this? This other agency just proved they can do this with these other brands. And why is this not being done with my brand? I know I have a successful product. I know I'm making money. Why is this not being done for my brand? You want them to leave almost a little bit pissed off. And not the only hope, because that sounds immoral, but you're going to be the solution to their problem, if that makes sense. I'm sure it does. Hopefully it does. Cool. So we have a ton more accounts that we could show you. I mean, some 8x, 9x, 11x return on ad spend clients. But I mean, we're already 16 minutes, almost 17 minutes into this video. And so I'm really excited to talk with you on Monday. I'm obviously going to send you this video. Hopefully you've watched it to this point. If you have, then thank you for giving us 17 minutes of your time. But we want to work on this account. We see so much potential here. It's crazy. And if we could be your guys behind marketing to help scale your brand, we want to be your guys. We want to help grow this thing. And for you to be working with your current agency, and I don't know who runs that agency, so I mean no disrespect behind this, but for them to be running it the way that they're currently running it is not okay for your business. You have a solid business. The only thing that's lacking is the marketing could be done way better. The paid traffic could be done way better. We know exactly what we do. We have a plan of attack to almost instantly increase your results. But yeah, we can talk about that on Monday. So Amanda, again, thank you for your time. Super awesome for you to sort of kind of meet Kostas. If we do end up working together, we can get an actual onboarding call. You can see that great smile in person. And I believe that's it. So thank you so much again. And you have a great weekend. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye. Cool. So that was the audit. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you found a little bit of value inside this video. In my next video, I'm going to be showcasing you the onboarding process that we had with her and exactly what we did to reinforce that she made a great decision by working with us. Because as you know, the first 72 hours of working together are the most important 72 hours of working together. And if they can have a smooth onboarding process, it can increase your LTV significantly, which, by the way, within the first week, we got better results for her account than she's ever gotten. And I will talk about that more on my next video. But regardless, thank you for watching this video. If you're a D2C business and you are currently spending money on ads and those ads just aren't as profitable as you think they could be, let's talk. It's worth a conversation. If I don't provide you any value on our call, I'll buy you dinner to your favorite restaurant. So it's worth a conversation, right? Regardless, thanks again for watching the video, and looking forward to talking soon. You have a good one. Bye-bye.